Hey everyone. So this is going to be part 2 of my Discworld collection, or I should say updated Discworld collection, because I made a similar video 3 years ago, but back then I only had 11 Discworld books, and now I have about 23, so I figured I would just do an update, and I really hope that the first part of this actually uploads, because it was a little over 15 minutes, so I'm not sure if it will, but hopefully. Anyway, so I left off at book number 9, I believe, Eric, and I am actually missing a couple in between, before I get to the next one that I own. I am missing Moving Pictures and Reaper Man, which are books 10 and 11. I believe Moving Pictures is it's like kind of a standalone, but also considered to be part of the Industrial Revolution branch, if that is a branch. Like, some people don't actually consider that a branch, but then other people lump it in with others. But it's about Hollywood coming to the Discworld, basically, and that's all that I really know, because it's not one that I own, so I haven't actually read the summary of that yet. And then Reaper Man is the next book in the Death series, which I guess it's book 2 in the Death series, and basically Death is forced into retirement, and he, I think, gets work on a farm. And so it's kind of how the Discworld gets on without Death. And I don't know if, I think there's like a substitute Death at some point, but I'm not totally sure. And again, since this is one that I don't own and that I'm not at that point in the series yet, I can't really say any more because I don't really know much more. But anyway, I don't own those two. I'm either going to purchase them soon, or I'm going to get them out of the library and then purchase them later on. So next up we have Witches Abroad. This is a very amusing cover. Yeah, it's very like 80s, early 90s type fantasy cover. It's really, really bad. Oh gosh. Yeah, so anyway, I still kind of love it, even though it's really bad. I just really like the colors and everything, and just how terrible it is. But anyway, so I'll be keeping this copy for now, and then I might actually get one. Where is it? I might actually get this one in this edition, because I think it's my eventual goal to get all of them in this edition, because I love these and I think they're beautiful. But for now, I'm just focusing on getting the ones that I don't own in these editions. But anyway, Witches Abroad is the 12th book, and it is the next book in the Witches cycle, so it's the second book in the Witches cycle. And I will read you guys this one. This says, "Death awaits for no one, not even a fairy godmother. So when Desiderata waited a little too long to find a successor, it was up to the Discworld's own zany version of the three witches, Magrat Garlic, Granny Weatherwax, and Nanny Og, to grab their broomsticks and keep Desiderata's appointment in far distant Genoa, and save Princess Emberella from her other fairy godmother's determination to create a happy ending. Along the way, the three would face all the usual travelers' woes: foreign food, languages, and accommodations, plus the occasional vampire, werewolf, and falling house. But their troubles wouldn't really begin until they got to lovely, law-abiding Genoa, and found themselves facing a full-blown case of fairy godmother rivalry." So, yeah, I guess this is like the witches plus Cinderella plus a road trip? Yeah, maybe. And I feel like this is based on a specific fairy tale, like a parody of a specific fairy tale. But I would guess it's Cinderella because, you know, pumpkins and Emberella, but I feel like I read that it's also based on something else, so I'll have to look that up. But anyway, this one sounds fantastic. And I've heard that it's a lot of people's favorite in the Witches series. So that'll be very interesting. And I feel like there's something else. Oh, and I also wanted to mention that characters often appear in other branches. Like, I think Death turns up pretty much everywhere in the Discworld because he's Death. But he's appeared in the Rinse cycle. He appears, of course, in his own branch. He appears in the Witches series. Probably in City Watch as well. I'm not sure yet because I haven't gotten there. But anyway, so, yep. So that's book 12, I think. And then, it's book 13? 14? Hang on. I might be missing one in between. Let me look. Oh, yes. Okay, so I am missing one in between, which is Abroad, and this next one, and that is Small Gods, which is another standalone, but it also is grouped with pyramids as ancient civilizations, and it's one that I really want to purchase, again, in that pretty edition. So that's on my list, but I don't currently own it. And that's just about... actually, I'm not even going to try to explain it, because I think I'm going to get it wrong. So, if you want to know about that one, look up a summary. So next we have Lords and Ladies. This is book 14, and it might be another witches book. I think it is. This says, it's a dreamy midsummer's night in the kingdom of Lancra. But music and romance aren't the only things filling the air. Magic and mischief are afoot, threatening to spoil the royal wedding of King Verence and his favorite witch, Magrat Garlic. Invaded by some fairy trash, soon it won't be only champagne that's flowing through the streets. So, as you can tell, this is not only another witches book, but it's also a parody of Midsummer Night's Dream by Shakespeare. So... very excited about this one. Next up is Interesting Times, and this is another one in the Rinse cycle, and I will read you guys the back of this one. This says, "May you live in interesting times is the worst thing one can wish on a citizen of Discworld, especially on the distinctly unmagical sorcerer Rincewind, sorry, I can't read it, who has had far too much perilous excitement in his life." And also, this, like, saying that that's the worst thing you can say to, a citizen of Discworld. May you live in interesting times is an old Chinese curse. I think it's Chinese. Yeah, it's an old Chinese curse. So if you say that to someone, you're basically wishing them hell, I guess. But anyway, so, where was I? Sorry. But when a request for a great wizard, arrives in Ankh-Morpork via carrier Albatross, awesome, Albatross, sorry, I said that wrong, from the faraway counterweight continent, which I think is where Two Flowers from. It's he who sent an emissary. Chaos threatens to follow the impending demise of the Agatean Empire's current ruler, and for some incomprehensible reason, someone believes Rincewind will have a mythic role in the war and wholesale bloodletting that will surely ensue. Carnage is pretty much a given, since Cohen the Barbarian and his extremely elderly Silver Horde are busily formulating their own plan for looting, pillaging, and looking wistfully at girls. However, Rincewind firmly believes there are too many heroes already in the world, yet only run one Rincewind, and he owes it to the world to keep that one alive for as long as possible. So yes, that is Interesting Times. Next, let me see if I'm missing any in between these. Ooh, okay, I forgot to talk about two after Lords and Ladies. In between Lords and Ladies and Interesting Times, I'm missing Men-at-Arms and Soul Music. Men-at-Arms is another of the City Watch books with Captain Vimes and that crew. And Soul Music is another book in the Death series, and that actually introduces Death's granddaughter, Susan something Hellett. Oh, man. Stowe Hellett? I think, yeah, Susan Stowe Hellett, I think. I'll have to look it up. But anyway, she is another one of my favorite characters. But again, I don't own those. I will have to buy them. And then Masquerade actually does come right after Interesting Times. And it is another of the Witches books. And it is a parody of Phantom of the Opera, which makes it just amazing to me. And I'm just so incredibly excited to get to this one. So this says, the Opera House, Ankh-Morpork, a huge, rambling building where innocent young sopranos are lured to their destiny by a strangely familiar evil mastermind in a hideously deformed evening dress. At least, he hopes so. But Granny Weatherwax, Discworld's most famous witch, is in the audience, and she doesn't hold with that sort of thing. So there's going to be trouble. But nevertheless, a good evening's entertainment with murders you can really hum. Sorry. So yeah, that's this one, and I'm so excited about this.